Razi, first my compliments to you for the story, which is the expose. Certainly it exposes the underbelly, which is obnoxious and which is shocking and which is extremely disturbing. But just 2 years back in Jharkhand, a similar thing had happened.
Yes.
A police case was registered and people who were trading in money for votes, including Mrs. Soren, have been put behind bars.
No, the election was countermanded. Do you believe the election should be countermanded again?
No, no, no.
In Jharkhand, the election was countermanded. Should it be countermanded in Karnataka now?
Then what? No, no. Even if the election is countermanded, then what? The same set of people will again be, because the arithmetic of the assembly is such that there are surplus votes and there's nobody who's a clear winner in this. So that's not the issue. I mean, I want to take it to a slightly larger thing. You know, there are 3 states which have been particularly very vulnerable to this kind of an activity. One is UP, the other is Jharkhand, the third is Karnataka. History has it that these states have witnessed this kind of, nefariety in Rajya Sabha elections. I earnestly request the entire polity as well as everybody put together to look at amending the law relating to the election to the Rajya Sabha. It must be on the pro rata basis of your strength in that particular assembly, and whoever has, in the remaining section, whoever has the highest vote should go through. That will completely eliminate the necessity of horse trading and cross voting.
So you are saying...
One more thing.
You are saying...
We are all so shocked seeing... Just 1 minute.
Yes.
Just 1 minute. 1 minute. We are all so shocked seeing this. I am surprised that when a chief minister in Uttarakhand was caught doing something more brazen than this, buying and selling of MLAs for saving his government, I never saw the outrage. You know, somewhere the tacit silence is encouraging this kind of activity. This is just election to the Rajya Sabha. That was saving a state assembly election, state assembly. And there the chief minister himself is caught on camera.
He's got a CBI inquiry. The chief minister of Uttarakhand. The chief minister of Uttarakhand has a CBI inquiry.
Taking outrage.
No, my worry is you saw Jayaprakash Narayan, the reaction of Mr. Devagowda.
Rajiv, who is stopping them to bring the electoral reforms? Why the government is sitting on the law commission report to have electoral reforms?
So one by one.
BJP is not serious. And what Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal has just now reminded
Please understand, it is not the government which can do anything, it is the polity which has to do it together.
All along in the front in Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh, this Rajya Sabha menace.
Okay.
People remembers.
One minute, one by one.
As well as in UP.
Sir, on this program, I have said this to...
Operation Kamala also.
Sir, no noise.
Mr. Yediyurappa's government has purchased the MLAs of opposition parties in the name of Operation Kamala. So don't teach the ethics here. Everybody, all political parties across the political spectrum are to be blamed. We all are responsible. We have to come together to clean this menace. Just don't pass the buck to somebody else.
Okay. Hamam mein sab nange hain, I keep saying. No,
what are you talking, Krishnamurti ji? It is the same system today. I don't think you know your system. It is a preferential vote system today also. So if there are 4 candidates, every MLA has a preferential vote of 1, 2, 3, 4. Sir, please listen. I don't think you know. You don't know. I don't think you know what you're talking.
No. Let's not use words. Sudhanshu Mittal, we are talking to a former election commissioner. I would like a certain etiquette to be maintained. You're saying that the former election commissioner is actually. You want to clarify once and for all, Mr. Krishnamurti. What are you trying to tell? Quickly, 30 seconds. Clarify what you want.
Chief election commissioner.
No, this system can be refined. It has to be refined. Secondly, if there is a split votes in the Rajya Sabha, we can even consider transferring it to the next year's quota, so that there is no question of people trading for votes.
Right.
So there are many options available. The system needs to be changed.
The system needs to be changed. I think we are in agreement there. Sudhanshu Mittal, I want an honest answer today.
Rajiv.
No, honest answer. Is it not true that the BJP also in the past has done, as Jayaprakash Narayan said, some kind of a wholesale deal with businessmen in Karnataka? Vijay Mallya was a good example of 5 years ago. There are deals which are done. Let's not, nobody can be holier than thou. Rajya Sabha has become a space where if you are a rich businessman today, or you are close to a rich businessman, you can try and buy a party. That is the sad truth of this country today.
Raji, that's not how the system operates. I wouldn't accuse even the Congress for that, for the reason...
Why have so many industrialists got in? Why have so many industrialists who have nothing to do with the political party got in the last decade? Come on, Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal. Let's not insult the country's intelligence, please.
Raji, if you allow me, if you have a premeditated mind on this, I have no issues. But let me tell you what is the reality. I know the reality much better than any of you sitting here knows it.
I know.
The reality is that we have a certain amount of surplus votes. And these surplus votes will be given to somebody who's in a position to get other votes. Because naturally in Rajya Sabha, if I am having somebody who will add to my tally and to add to my strength, I will certainly go for it. But that does not mean that I have taken money to give my surplus vote to him. Striking an understanding with an individual who's able to get somebody else's vote is different than being bought over by somebody for money. That's not the way the national parties operate, and I have not even accused Congress of that. Because I know the character of Congress also on this.
It's nice when the BJP gives us. Just a minute.
The system is flawed.
The system is flawed, we have accepted. We have accepted the system is flawed, but I don't want characters.
Let me give you the solution. Rajiv, let me give you the solution.
30 seconds.
Rajiv, there is a very simple solution.
Yes.
The simple solution is, instead of a voting, you have X number of seats and you have X number of MLAs. On the pro rata strength of each political party, the seats can evenly be distributed. Now, for the fraction of votes which are there, whoever has the largest number of the fraction vote gets that additional seat. See, normally the problem is that one seat where nobody has a clear number which is equivalent to the
Sir, I've got your point.
Required to be elected. So
I've got your point.
Should go to somebody.
I've got your point. I'm just going to raise
surplus votes.
I'm running out of time. I want 2 points. First, from you, Danish Ali, I want today an acceptance that your party will act or not. And then I'll come to you, Jaiprakash Narayan. But I want to know from you, Danish Ali, is your party going to act against these MLAs or is it going to be business as usual? The reaction of Deva Gowda has convinced me nothing will change.
Let me put one question to my BJP friend, that why they are sitting on the electoral reforms file. I may remember Mr. Krishnamurthy was there when Law Commission had tabled its report, when Election Commission invited all political parties for the discussion for the Law Commission recommendation on electoral reforms. BJP even not bothered to send its representative to that meeting held in Vigyan Bhavan. That is the brazenness of these national parties.
Sir,
they don't want
Sir, you are passing the buck to them. I am asking you a question. What action you will take against your MLAs? You don't answer my question.
Election commissioners were there.
Today you are caught. When they are caught, I will ask them that question. Today you are caught. You are not answering my question. Will you act or not? Your president and the former prime minister.
I am talking about the larger perspective.
No, I am not interested. I want to know first. We have to start with these MLAs.
Definitely the election.
Sir, the larger perspective I will come to.
The action will be taken against those who are responsible for this matter.
Okay. I'm going to ask you then, Jaiprakash Narayan, because we can shout and scream. Just a minute.
In this debate, only
just
we will focus on an issue.
Producer, please, the voice. I'm going to ask you, Jaiprakash Narayan, because I believe you are one of the wise men of Indian politics. Give me a solution in 30 seconds. I know that's a little short, but give me a solution that is workable, that all these major parties will accept, because otherwise they will never bite the hand, that they will never allow any action to be taken, because they will not bite the hand that feeds them.
Rajdeep, we need a constructive response that addresses two problems. It's not enough to really address only Rajya Sabha election. A, the logjam in Government of India whenever there is a Rajya Sabha problem is in conflict with the Lok Sabha verdict. And B, the utter dishonesty and unethical practices in Rajya Sabha election. The two together can be addressed by one simple model, for instance. In Germany, you have an upper house like this. But what happens is the government of the lander of the state during the tenure of the government, chooses the representatives, most often the ministers from the state. They go and sit in parliament in the upper house. Basically, its purpose is to represent the state's interests. Today, what is the Rajya Sabha doing? 6 years ago, a house which no longer represents the will of the people of that state is now represented in Rajya Sabha, and Lok Sabha's will is thwarted. That's not the way the constitution should function. Therefore, let us look at a fundamental change in the electoral process of Rajya Sabha. One model possibly is the current composition of the legislature will determine all the members of Rajya Sabha from the state,
right,
and the government of the state will have the jurisdiction or the discretion. And two, Rajya Sabha powers will be substantially curtailed, but will be substantial in terms of states' rights and constitutional amendments
I take your point.
and all India services.
I take your point. I'm going to leave it there. Clearly, this sting has shown the need once again for our systems to wake up, for change. If they don't change, we will continue to see images like this, and we will continue to do sting operations in the hope that one day our MLAs will be shamed into changing. I thank you all very much for joining me and offering some solutions at least. And I wait to see what H.D. Devagowda has to say tomorrow if his mood has improved. Let's start.